This video is dedicated to my new 1K subscribers on my second channel, Casper Chess Clips. To celebrate this new achievement, I'm going to reveal to you guys my top 2 favorite openings, which I highly advise intermediate level players and beginners to play all the time if they want to improve their chess. The first part will be the tutorial part, where I'll be taking you through the moves, showing you the do's and don'ts. And the second part is where I'm going to challenge some random chess players on Lichess to try and defeat them using my top 2 recommendations for you guys, especially if you love the King's Pawn game. And as usual, you will find the longer version of this video on my second channel, Casper Chess Clips. Here I'm just gonna post a short version, at least 15 minutes long. Why? Because that's what the YouTube algorithm advises me to do on this channel. Whenever I post very long videos or very short videos on this channel, it doesn't work. People don't just watch. Now let's begin. The first opening is where you start with e4, and then after black plays pawn to e5, you go knight f3, and after knight c6, you go bishop c4, the Italian game. And here, if black plays the 2 knights defense with knight f6, I want you guys to be playing pawn to d3. Even when they play the Gioco piano with bishop c5, I still want you guys to play pawn to d3, because after all, we are still going to be transposing back to the same positions. This is the first recommendation for you guys. So if black plays knight f6, attacking your e4 pawn, what I want you guys to do is to go pawn to d3. And this is what I'm going to do against any random player on Lichess. Should they play bishop c5 in this position, I'm just going to play bishop g5. Now the moment black plays pawn to h6, because they are not comfortable with your death squad bishop, what I want you guys to do is to take on f6. Very simple stuff, also playable in serious OTB classical tournaments. After queen takes f6, this is when you play knight c6. And immediately black plays pawn to d6, ladies and gentlemen. This is when you zoom your eyeballs and play the move knight d5, attacking that queen. The moment black's queen goes back, the key move you always want to play is pawn to c3. Why? Because next you intend to go pawn to d4, and you will see how that works. I just want to show you something on Lichess. Look at this. Bishop e6 is by far the top played move in this particular position, which is a losing mistake, unfortunately. And you're going to win a lot of games after this video, you guys. So whenever you see bishop e6, just know you are winning, because now you can simply go pawn to d4. That's the correct move. If e takes d4, the top played move, once again, what do? You resign? No. You take back with your c pawn. And I know you're looking at this move, bishop b4 check. Why? You don't have to, because this is a very bad move due to knight takes b4. This is what you can do, you sons of Jacob. The moment black plays knight takes, that's when you surprise them with the move queen a4 check. And what do you know about chess? Pawn to d5. That's what you know. In this position, you're going to win a free piece. Oh, say, what if black plays pawn to c6? Well, now you can just freely take that knight, knowing your light squad bishop is well defended. And let's just go back a little bit. After pawn to d4, bishop b4 check, and knight takes b4, what if black doesn't take the knight immediately, and say they first of all take your light squad bishop? Well, first of all, you start with this move, knight takes c6. And after BC, I give you 1 millisecond to guess the right move in this position. Let's go. Nope, I was just kidding. You simply go queen c2, attacking the light squad bishop. And hey, the whole idea is to win this bishop if black there goes bishop s6, because now you can simply go queen takes c6 check, and on the next move you're going to grab that poor bishop. What if black doesn't play that poor move? Say this time they play pawn to d5, the top played move in the Lichess database. Well, once again, you can just go pawn to b3, and after something like bishop b5, it doesn't even matter. You attack that bishop once again, and after bishop s6, just like before, you capture on c6 with check, and you're going to win that free bishop. Whoa, wait a second. After queen c2, you see that the best move that black can play is bishop e6, right? Yep. But you just continue chopping off all the free pawns. And after bishop d7, by the way, this is check, so black has to play bishop d7. You can simply go queen c3. Even if they castle short, it doesn't even matter. You can do the same as well. And next, you're going to put your 2 rooks behind those pawns just to support them, and play pawn to h3. What else do you need on earth? Espouse, Come on, you only need a good chess position and the queen in life. I mean, in chess. Right, so that was my first opening recommendation. Sometimes the game may go as follows. Say this time, after setting up the Italian game, black doesn't play knight f6, and say they go bishop c5. You can still go pawn to d3. That's the beauty. And you can see that the top played move in the Lichess database is still knight f6. What are we talking about? Once again, this is when you go bishop g5 and say, who am I? They always play pawn to h6 for some reason, because if they don't do this, say they just cast a shot or they play pawn to d6, they know you're going to play knight c3 and knight d5 next. But just to show you that sometimes move order doesn't matter, say this time black doesn't play h6, they play pawn to d6. Well, once again, you can just go knight c3. I mean, what else? And the moment they play pawn to h6, that's when you take on f6, and if they take back, what do you do next? Knight d5 once again, attacking the queen. And not that black can't play queen g6 due to knight takes c7, and you're going to win the rook. So they will always play queen d8. That's what they know. And what did I say is the key move in this position? If you're following me, I give you 5 days to think. I meant 5 months. The move is pawn to c3. You guys, this is a magical move in the Italian game. You should always look forward to playing this move. Once again, we can see that bishop e6 is by far the top played move, after which you can still go pawn to d4, and after ed, you simply take back. And if bishop b4 check, again, you execute that same idea, maybe trapping black once again like this, winning a free piece, probably the knight or the bishop, whatever, and move on with life. But you see, sometimes after playing this key pawn move, you won't always see your opponents blundering with this long-term positional mistake, bishop e6. You will see them castling short, which is the second most played move on Lichess. After this, you just continue with pawn to b4, advancing on the queen side, and after bishop b6, what else do you know? Apart from a4, you want to trap that bishop, right? So they play pawn to a6 most of the times, after which you gladly take that bishop, removing it out of the game, and after pawn takes, that's when you castle short. Oh, why not playing pawn to h3 before castling short? Because after all, white can just pin your knight on f3, right? Well, we don't care. That's just the truth. Here you can go h3, and after bishop h5, it's up to you to go queen e2 if you want to hold on to your knight, or just play pawn to g4 right away, because this is also playable. Even at the top level, after bishop g6, you go queen e2, wanting to go g5 next. And here I don't even know what black should play, honestly speaking. They like queen f6, the top played move, once again attacking the knight, but you can just go king g2 if you're pressed, or simply knight e1. Why knight e1? Because you want to put your knight on g2 and play pawn to f4. You're just playing simple but active chess, if you think about it. What else? Let's just make some random moves. Rook c8, knight g2, look at this, rook e8, pawn to f4. This is your simple plan. They better take on f4, allowing you to take back with the knight. You want to walk away with a discovery. Maybe if they pin your knight to the queen, there are so many things you can do here, one of which is rook a2. Now you want to take here. If knight e5, attacking your bishop, you can even go bishop d5. Now I'm showing you what to do in the middle game, attacking the b7 pawn. If rook c7, you go c4, not hanging any pawn. And yeah, you're just having a very great game if you think about it. All your pieces are active. Next, you're going to play something like queen e1, maybe giving a chance even pawn to e4, or simply queen e3 and double up your rooks, pressurize the f7 pawn, which is pinned to the king, and all that. So that's the first recommendation. And before I show you some more and more interesting stuff, allow me to thank all of my patrons and all of you guys who purchased my new E5 defense course, which is now complete, obviously, which teaches you how to beat the Scotch, the Italian game, the Bishop's opening, the Vienna game, and other minor openings under E4. Also support my partners, these guys, the Ask Chess GPT group that sponsored this video. It's just a YouTube channel that allows you to ask them questions directly to get video responses or video answers. If you have a chess related related question, simply head over to the comment section. You will find the link that will direct you to the community chat where you can ask anything related to chess and expect to get video responses as soon as possible. How about the second recommendation that I prepared for you guys? Well, it is simply the 4 Knights game. Why the 4 Knights game though? Because it is so simple and very predictable. You're just going to be playing the same things, especially in the opening stage, over and over. After knight c6, you don't play the Italian game, you simply go knight c3. I guarantee you guys, 99% of the times your opponents will respond with knight f6. You don't believe me? Check for yourselves on Lichess, or rather in the Lichess database, you see knight f6 is the top played move. And even if I switch to the Masters database, you can see that knight f6 once again is the top played move. So better go with these 3 knights opening. It's going to transpose into the 4 knights game. These are openings that you play if you want to improve your rating so fast. Immediately after black plays knight f6, the move I recommend to play is pawn to d4. Why? Number 1, it's aggressive. Number 2, most of your opponents will get confused so easily. For example, the top played move is ed, after which you simply go knight d5, sacrificing your second pawn, the e4 pawn. And here I see the top played move is knight takes e4, after which there are 2 ways to continue. If you're playing against complete amateurs, queen e2 makes a lot of sense, but if you're playing against higher rated opponents, bishop d3 is the move you want to play, which is what I recommend as well. So you just play bishop d3, attacking that knight. You can see the top played move is knight f6 because black likes to retreat their pieces. Now see, the moment black retreats their knight back to f6, the move you always want to play is queen e2 check. Very cool stuff if you think about it. They will play bishop e7 most of the times, after which you can now mess up their pawn structure on the king side like this. Can you see that, you guys? Very beautiful stuff in a real OTB tournament. This will motivate you a lot to continue attacking. You will develop your bishop and castle long, then start attacking. All I'm saying is you want to choose an opening that puts you in front of the game. You want to be in control of the game so that your opponent continues answering your questions. Here you can also try to castle short. This is fine. Why is it fine? I don't know. Oh, nope. I know. After something like pawn to d5 or d6, whatever, you now play rook e1. Say after bishop e6, which they like playing, now you go bishop b5, pinning the knight to the king. If s6, you just take and take the d4 pawn next. If queen d7, the top played move for some reason, you just go ahead and take on d4, knowing if knight takes, you're going to take on d7 first with check. So black will have no time to capture your queen, and if they play something like s6, well, here I would take my time, first playing bishop a4, so that once black castles long, now that's when I take on c6 with my bishop, and after pawn takes, guess what? I go queen s6 check and winning the queen on the next move after knight takes c6 check. Or better go rook e3 because there is a mate in 8 in this position. For example, after pawn to c5, you can go knight takes on e6, and next you want to play rook b3 followed by rook b5 checkmate. So after bishop b5, queen d7 and knight takes, once again if black plays a6, just retreat your bishop, still maintaining the pin so that if they castle long, you take and mate them in 8. The move they like playing in this position is pawn to b5, after which you can first of all take on e6 with your knight. If they take back with their pawn, well and good, you have check and you're going to rescue your bishop. If queen takes e6, you have queen d1, the queen is under attack. If they play something like queen f5, trying to be relevant in society, you just go bishop b3. I mean, what else do you know? And if black thinks they can castle long peacefully, well, here you can just go bishop d5, wanting to take this knight, which is the only defender of the dark squad bishop, and we have some problems. If you were to ask me which opening do I like the most between these two, the bishop g5 Italian and the 4 knights game, well, I would say it is the 4 knights game due to its simplicity and the fact that it is forcing in some lines. Once again, after knight f6, just go pawn to d4. After pawn takes, go knight d5. And if knight takes, the top played move, you just remember to go bishop d3, attacking that. And after knight f6, you just remember to give a check and mess up your opponent's pawn structure on the king side. Wait a second. The best that black can do in this position after bishop d3 is not to play knight f6. It is actually knight c5. I came across this move against a 2500 rated opponent and I was butchered thanks to that guy for teaching me a life lesson. You're going to see your higher rated opponents playing knight c5, attacking your light squared bishop. Now, the best thing you can do in this position is just to give up your light squared bishop anyways. You castle short just to equalize the game. Let them take your bishop, that's fine, because you can just take back and Stockfish says you have a slight advantage. And the moment they play bishop e7, because what else can they do? If you want, you can also get rid of their bishop pair, or like in this position, the best is to go rook e1, putting more pressure on the pinned piece. They will castle short, after which you simply take on d4. But wait a second, you know the d4 pawn is already a dead pawn. So why can't you develop your dark squared bishop with tempo? Maybe you're going to take the c7 pawn. Oh, black plays pawn to d6 all the time. Well, now this is when you can take on d4. At least you developed a piece with tempo. And if black takes, which is a blunder, you guys, now you go knight takes e7 check. This was some kind of a deflection. Black can't take, else they are going to lose their queen. So that's the best you can do in these 4 knights games, coach variation. After pawn takes, knight d5, knight takes, bishop d3 and knight c5. You just castle short and continue playing an active game. That's how you can survive. But if you want to play around, you can try bishop g5. It's okay, it's fine. They will play bishop b7 cause what else? But if pawn to f6, if I were you here, I can even play around, just take on d4, cause if they take, I know there's a mate in 3 in this position, beginning with queen h5 check. If pawn to g6, I even sacrifice my queen, and after pawn takes, the secret is not to take on g6 right away. You first of all wait for your clock to run all the way down to 1 second before taking on g6. That's just what we do on leeches. Bad manners anyways. Anyway, so that was just one of the possibilities. After you play bishop g5, instead of castling short, if pawn to f6, you just take on d4. Of course, they are going to take on d3, and then you continue playing chess. For example, after f6 and you take, there is knight takes d3 here. So at the end of the day, you will still have to work for your meal. And after knight takes d4, again you take with your queen. And see, for some reason, it's not just good enough for black to take on g5 according to Stockfish. You can see from the evil bar, things are already good for white, simply because you have castle long in this position without any problems. And look at how vulnerable black's king is on the center of the board. Where are they going to go? If bishop e7, you can even take on g7 attacking the rook, and rook he1 is coming. So this is not simple though. Just think of being tricky. Play bishop g5 in this position. It's not much of a stretch. Even after they play pawn to f6, sometimes you won't see pawn to f6. They play bishop e7, but what do? The best is to take with the knight. You can see after knight takes, again you take on d4. If they take your bishop, which they are going to do like always, you take back with your queen. Black's knight is still pinned to the queen. If pawn to f6, you just retreat your bishop. If castle short, you castle long. And that's one beauty of playing the 4 knights game, because you always have these opportunities of castling long before you start attacking. So you want to play an active game at the end of the day with your kingside pawns. Now, before I play 1 or 2 games on leeches, what if black doesn't take on e4 after you play d4? And pawn takes, then knight d5. What if they don't take on e4 and say they just take on d5? Well, this is okay. You just take like that. And after knight e7, the top played move, you just go queen takes d4. If they ever play pawn to d6, the top played move, again, you just want to be quick with your development on the queen side before castling long and start pawn storming on the king side. Say knight f5, the top played move in this position, they are attacking your queen. Well, now you go queen f4, just putting your queen on a safe spot. And by the way, there's this tricky line where black may play queen e7 check. Yes, you can block with your bishop and not with your elbow, but the move I recommend in this position is just king d1. Why? Because there are all sorts of nasty traps in this position. For example, if black ever plays a move like pawn to h6, which we see in the leeches database, now you can just go bishop b5 check and ready to go rook e1 next. Or what if they play king d8? Still you have rook e1 and there's an unavoidable checkmate. If queen f6 is played, you have mate in 1. So once again, after pawn takes, knight d5 and knight takes d5 instead of knight takes e4, just take back. If they go knight e7, you take back on d4 with your queen, and there's nothing much that black is going to do here apart from pawn to d6, obviously, after which you go bishop d2 and do all that stuff. Again, even if they play knight g6, you just go bishop d2. This is where we saw something like queen e7 when black's pawn was on d6, for example. This here, you can just go bishop e2 anyways and think of castling short or long. But if they play pawn to d6 once again, you can just castle long. That's the whole idea of playing bishop d2 first. You just want to be quick in development on the queen side and start pawn storming on the king side. What is that? Start pawn storming on the king side with your pawns. If bishop e7, they want to castle short, you just take. Pop. If bishop f6, preventing you from capturing or doing more damage, you have rook e1 check. Pop. Maybe they should play something like knight e5 in this position, after which you just save your queen like this and ready to take on e5 next, go pawn to f4 and all that. Now, it is time for me to impress my new 1K subscribers on Casper Chess Clips. By the way, thank you once more, my 1K subscribers. There is more to come on this channel and on the other channel. Now, time for you to go and check out my new E5 defense course, which I have also linked in the comment section down below. And I'm glad to say, so far it has received a lot of attention and people are getting it like crazy. So it's an opening response that you try against White's E4 opening. You're going to learn how to play against the Scotch, the Royal Pace, the Bishop's opening, 3 Knights opening, the 4 Knights game, the Vienna game, even the Italian game. So it's the complete E5 defense course that I just launched with my team. You better go and check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye bye.